So let's look at different configurations of a PV system. We have the off-grid and have grid-connected PV system. There is an off-grid and then there's a PV grid-connected system. So let's start from the off-grid PV system. So the off-grid PV system, it has elements like, okay, so you have the sun, which is the primary source of the energy. It goes through the solar panel that actually converts the sun energy into direct current, right? And then this direct current now have to go to a storage. Now it's still at direct current level. So if you have a direct current light bulb, you can actually connect it directly and it will light up the light bulbs. But if you have an AC light bulb, what that means that it has to go through an inverter, right? To convert it from DC to AC. So with this kind of configuration, what we have is an off-grid system because it does not have any connection to the grid. It does not have any link to the grid, okay? So you have a charge controller. So essentially what this charge controller do is to manage the kind of current that goes into this battery, because this battery, if you don't manage it, it will damage this battery. So charge controller is here to manage and regulate the current, okay, that goes into this battery and the voltage that goes into this battery to actually, charge the battery. And then from here, it then goes through your inverter and then it powers your appliances. Then there is the grid connected PV system. So for the grid connected PV system, it's have a slight different configuration. In this case, now at the end of the month, you will not compare how much have you given to the grid and how much have you collected from the grid. If you have given more to the grid, then you're entitled to some compensation, either in the form of maybe carbon credit or in the form of financial reward. So depending on the country where this is. So this, what I just described to you now is known as net metering. So for countries where you have a net metering program, this is the structure and this is the arrangement, through which, you get rewarded, by connecting to the grid. Now, there are different ways. This is just one way of connecting to the grid. At a small scale, at a larger scale, in that case, you can now be. In that case, you're just like a solar generator or like a solar farm. But I don't want to push too much because we are going to get to that. So stay on the PV and off-grid and then grid-connected PV system. So I just like to break them down, okay? So for the off-grid system, you have a PV. Now these are just examples. So you have PV system for rural community or rural electrification. Rural electrification means that they're off-grid. Now, you know the kind of mini grids we have in Nigeria, where you have a central solar generator and then you have the grid, that is connecting to the homes. When you have that kind of arrangement, it is still an off-grid system. Okay, in as much as it's a rural mini grid, but it's still an off-grid system. Okay, so this kind of system can have battery